Hello YouTube. Well, last few days I've been busy. Stuff I didn't show you. It's just sort of repeats of what I've been doing. But get an idea is we coated the walls with this waterproofing membrane. Couple of coats. Just it's gonna be under stuff, so it's just a precautionary thing more than anything else. And I built, you saw me build this. I built a shallow drawer for the refrigerator, put it on some heavy duty, they'll hold 250 pounds of drawer slides, and built this cabinet for up above here. Piano, it's gonna go there. That's the plan anyway. Finished off the bed. It's just a basic framework and storage underneath. So nothing fancy. It is short. That is only about 54 inches long. She's not very tall. And space-wise, what we're going to do is put another panel here that can be hinged up to make the bed a little longer. That's down the line. So this is bed, possibly lounge. This is storage, possibly bed. Going back and forth. That's the tub. That's not staying up there. Anyway, so today I want to build a face frame for this and a face frame for that, and if I can, I'll also build doors, and if I get to it, I'll put a face on this too. I don't have the handles to pull it out though. So that's today's project: face frame and possibly drawer fronts, but main thing, face frames for that and this, so that we'll be able to put doors on. All right, so let's get to it. First thing to do, grab your handy dandy notepad, lots of these laying around, and do some measurements. This particular, I'm going to start with this one, and it is 49.5 inches by 24. So, and what I'm going to do is piece across here, piece across there, one down each side and one down the middle. So I want to cut the long pieces first, and then I can get an accurate measurement. This should be 24 3/4 to the center. 4 3/4 to the center. So now I got those measurements. Let's go outside and we can cut some pieces. So for the face frames, I'm using this 1x2 stock, and so I'll cut them on the table saw because I can get a nice straight accurate cut. So let me get those measured up and cut up the various pieces we need, and I'll cut the long pieces first and then we'll get to the next ones. So this is one of those thinking ahead things, is if it's 49.5 across the bottom, then if I put the piece all the way across, I'm only going to get one out of each one. But if I put the upright pieces first, that's going to take off 3 inches. These are 1.5 inches. So that takes off 3, which means I can get 2 of the top and the bottom out of one piece. and only have that little bit. Probably less waste this way, but it's one of those, you know, think ahead kind of things and try to maximize the use of the wood. I got all my pieces laid out, and the next thing to do is look at them. Pick which side is going to be the face side. On this particular board, this one seems nice, clean. This side's got a little scuffed up. So I'm going to put this with the bad side up. On this one, scuff side nice, bad side up. Nice side. This one's a little rougher, so that's the bad side up. And with the long pieces, same thing. So why am I putting bad side up? Well, we're going to assemble it from the back side, and so we want to make sure that the best looking side is out. I'm still going to sand it. A lot of those scuff marks and stuff can be taken off with a sander, but makes my job a little easier just to do it this way. So all right, now the next step is pocket holes, and got to remember that they're going together this way. So pocket hole on this side, on the centerpiece, and both ends, not on these two end pieces. They do not get pocket holes. So let me get those drilled, and then we'll get to assembling. Oh yeah, the other thing to look for is the lumber yards. I like the ones that use staples and not stickers, because the stickers are always hard to get off, but try to remember to take those off. I mean, look, they got a sticker underneath this staple, so I got to get that off of there. It's easier to get them off now, and again, I'm still going to sand them, but get these things off now. It's even better to get them off before you cut, when you do your measurements, and that way you don't get out on a staple that adds 1/8 of an inch here or there, so that can cause problems. So at this point, I'll take and give them a little sand, try to get rid of like the little chip outs, just sanding off the corners. I'm not really worried about down the sides, because we're going to get to that, but it just makes it easier to do it now before it's assembled. And again, I'm going to run the sander over it anyway. Now it's just a matter of gluing them and screwing them up, screwing them together. You know what I mean? It's nice to have something that's square. Just to check. As long as you cut your joint square, you cut your ends square, then the pocket screws pull it together nice and square. I just like to double check. So that's it. I'm just going to go around, glue it, screw it. The centerpiece, I marked where the center is, so this is going to go and centered up on that line and on the other end. So what I'm doing is I'm going to assemble one side, then I'll turn it around and assemble the other side. Rather than try to squeeze this in, it's easier to get it in now. There we go, face frame for that first one, and let's go see how this fits before I sand it. Not that I don't have confidence in myself, but I sort of like to check these things out before the glue sets up. Because I can always take them apart that way. Once the glue sets up, then it's breaking wood. And that'll go on just like that. So, a lot better looking this way than with the plywood. And then, so I can get in here and I'm gonna glue this on and brad nail it to hold it in place. The brads are only till the glue sets up. Once the glue sets up, same with the pocket hole screws, once the glue sets up, the glue will be stronger than the wood around it. So let me get to let this one set up while I build the frame for that one. Gets a little more complicated, but not that much. All right, so now I got the face frames done. Now it's time to build the doors. And I used these 1x2s and for the face frames, and I'm using these 1x3s for the doors. Now 1x3 means they're really 2.5s, and so I have to take that into account. I'm going to build a frame, and we'll dado it out and put a piece of plywood in as the panel. There's all kinds of different ways you can do raised panels and sunken panels, and this is pretty much going to be a sunken panel kind of thing. But she likes it the rough look of the raw wood. So rather than use, well, my personal thing, when I do them, I like it to look really nice. So I use something like this Luan, a 1/4 inch, and use that for the panels. Again, she likes it to the imperfections and everything. So I've got a whole lot of this 1/2 inch plywood laying around. So I'm probably going to use this for the bigger doors, and I think it's big enough. And this one for the smaller doors, or I don't know. You know, I'm not sure which side. Me, I'd do that side, but I'm gonna let her choose, and I bet you she's gonna want that side. So let me get making the frames, and pretty much it's going to be the same as doing the face frames. I'm just making rectangular frames to fit, so I won't show you that process. It's the same, but I'll show you when I get to all the pieces how I'm going to do the cutouts for the panels to go in. So quite similar to what I did when I was building the cabinets, and I set the piece of plywood up here and adjusted the saw blade just as deep as the plywood is thick. I cut a test block, and what I do is I'm going to run the the door frame through once and then run it through. I'll set it up again, and we're going to basically notch this chunk out. That being said, on the drawers, that's what it was I was doing on the drawers, is it's okay for me to do that on these end pieces, but we really don't want that notch to come all the way out to the end, so that if you're looking at the bottom of the drawer, you're going to see the notch. It's not very not very good. So what I'm going to do is over here, well, let me get it set up and I'll show you, rather than try to do this one-handed. So as I said, when I cut these, I don't want that to be exposed from the end. So first thing I did was take one of the long ones and I marked how wide that board is, so, or the bottom and top pieces. And then I looked at it and said, here's where if I bring this board in here and bring it down, that blade is going to just miss it. Okay, so it's not going to quite be out the end here. And then when I get all the way to this end, I've got the end here where I can pivot the board up and it won't be quite at the end. So let me show you how that works. And you can see it doesn't come all the way to the end, but it does. So when I cut this out, it'll be hidden behind the side pieces. So that end and this end. So that's how I cut these, the first cut, and then with the bottom and top pieces, I can just straight cut right through. So let me get them and we'll get to the next cut. And now I've raised the blade to be cut into this groove, and I've moved the fence to be right there. So we're basically just going to cut that corner right out. Just like that, a little rabbit in it. And then for the big pieces, we're doing the same way that we did it before. And with this, I've got to take a handsaw and cut it off because it gets too close, because the blade, you look at the circular, the bigger you, higher you are, the more diameter the saw shows. So I could just take a handsaw, cut that off, and we will be good to go. All right, so once I I took the router and rounded over the inside and outside so it's nice. Grabbed just took and touched up with a sandpaper. Made sure this would fit, and then I just put a bead of glue around. If I wasn't using plywood for this, if I was using a piece of real wood, if you will, I wouldn't use glue, because plywood is pretty stable as far as expansion and contraction. I can glue it in and it'll give some more structure to everything. Then I just brad nail it around. Again, the brad nails are to hold it in place. Oops, ran out. Well, brads are to hold it in place while the glue dries. So I'll get this done and we'll get inside and get them installed. And we're going with like a country look, so we want these strap hinges. There's all kinds of different hinges. We just wanted that look, but of course it limits where we can put these. They're going to have to be near the rails here. So the way I do it to try to keep things all lined up is I'll fold the hinge down this way, put it tight against the side, and that gives me, it gives it, it's perpendicular, it's, you know, its placement's nice. And then I can just put these in, and I'm eyeballing it a little bit, you know, get the edge about 1/4 of an inch down. So I gotta I'll do the same on the top, the bottom, I'll do the other side, and then we'll go inside. So now the doors are all together, I need to install them. And watching another woodworking channel, if I remember to put a link below to this guy, he came up with one of the smartest ways I ever found to get a door centered. It's really hard, it's a pain in the butt actually. Use playing cards. So I'm going to take like 5 playing cards to start with. I'll set this door up. Put it up in here with 5 playing cards underneath, and it's a little tight. It won't fit in, or it fits, but barely. So I'm going to take 2 cards out. Well, actually that was 4 cards. I put 2 cards in and take the other 2 cards and check up on top. It's just about right. So that, by having 2 cards in here, this keeps that little bit of a tight gap and helps get the door centered up top to bottom, and on the sides it's snug up against this side and got an opening on that side. Let me get all 6 of these in here. cards out. And the door, real nice. I gotta put some sort of a catch in here and a handle. We're still looking for, you know, just the right hardware. So to complete this sort of rustic look. So I will get the other one. What I did when I picked out the plywood to go on this, I got them so that they're sort of complementary. She might paint it, she might stain it, we don't know, but that's what it's going to end up looking like. And I'll get the other ones finished up. All right, that about does it for the doors, for the cabinets, and that one over there. So I've still got to do the front pieces for here, but I'm waiting on hardware. I'm not sure what we're doing for handles. Probably going to be something rustic. I also got to do some sort of catch to keep the doors closed. And what I did in the bathroom is I put the same kind of hinges on, but I put, oops, come on, I put these little magnetic catches. They're really good. That catch and bounce out. So, not sure. It's just going to be toilet paper up in there, so that should hold it. And here, these things will probably have something heavier, so I need something a little bit stronger. All right, so that's it for this one. And again, this is how I did it, not necessarily how to, although you may find some of the things I did to help you out along the way. All right, I'm not sure whether I'm about to start on the kitchen or finish off the tub area. Probably do that this afternoon, so, or not. And I'm gonna go eat lunch, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, YouTube.